Hey y'all, I'm Tanner Carlson. I'm 25 years old, currently living in New York City, and I go to Columbia University. I'm a master's student, and I study electrical engineering. And some of my classes that I've done that are similar or very related to semiconductors are solid state devices, which is just a class about the physics of MOSFETs, PN junctions, that sort of thing. And then I've also taken a class called Harsh Environment Electronics, where we talk about fabricating semiconductors for harsher environments such as space, and digging for oil, things like that in your car.
In your own words, what do you think semiconductors do?
Well, semiconductors are very interesting. I would say the basic operation of them has to do with their material properties. So at low voltages, they act as a resistor, and at higher voltages, or the right voltage, they act as a switch that turns on really fast and controls things such as amplifiers and other important things we use in our electronic devices.
If you were describing a smartphone to a non-tech friend, how would you start?
I would explain to them that they've probably heard of the M1 chip or the Intel chip in their iPhone or computer. And on that chip are a bunch of little switches called transistors. And those form the basis of how we do math with voltages and in our electronic devices. So there's billions of these transistors in your iPhone, and those do the operations to make sure you send your text to your friend and get a text back.
If you were chatting with a kid, how would you explain the inside of a computer?
That's kind of a hard question. I would say that there's been a lot of research done over time through things like the light bulb and electricity. And those inventions have allowed us to create really complex math devices, like how you do addition and subtraction. They do that as well on your phone, but it's a lot more complicated and requires a lot of scientists and years of design to get all of this working properly.
What have you learned recently?
One of the most interesting things that I've learned recently was that when you have a capacitor and a resistor in parallel, and you want these to modulate at the frequency, the natural frequency of those components, where it naturally wants to resonate and make noise, you would want the imaginary impedance to equal the real impedance. And I thought that was really cool.
What about you? Do you know anything about semiconductors, Ryder?